Hey everyone, I'm Steve from GamersNexus.net, and this is your weekly hardware news recap for the week of the 13th, November 13th, so looking back a couple days here. And the first news item for this recap is JPR's report, John Petty Research, a report on the GPU shipment and sales volume for quarter 3 over quarter 2. So this, first of all, was put out by JPR, which is an independent firm, and sometimes JPR's numbers will differ from AMD and NVIDIA official numbers. This is for many reasons. One is access to data, another is the definition of GPUs. So with that stated, we can look at some of the stats reported by JPR, and this report does include IGPs and APUs within the definition of GPU. So that noted, AMD saw a 15% growth in its APU shipment volume in quarter 3 over quarter 2, and NVIDIA saw a growth in its laptop shipment volume by about 14%. Overall, though, laptops are down for the year in terms of pure volume shipped. The GPUs for desktops were the shining star within the market, with the gaming segment specifically holding everyone up. No huge surprise there, given the power of IGPs these days. NVIDIA's volume grew 21% year over year for GPU shipments in quarter 3 this year, and AMD grew 16% for quarter 3 versus quarter 2 metrics. Quarter 2 was pretty down this year, especially for AMD. So AMD saw a massive surge in shipment volume, going 33% higher than quarter 2, which is good news for them because that's a pretty big growth, especially with their APU shipment, which is calculated in there, of 15% growth in quarter 3. The year-over-year metrics in total show GPUs declining by about 8% because this is looking at the whole market, not just gamers. But JPR did say that the gaming segment is sort of the shining star in the market and the part where GPU shipments are really excelling, which again, no big surprise to us. Computer hardware and home computing giant ASUS announced on its earnings call through CEO Jerry Shen that the company will be focusing on its own pair of augmented reality glasses, targeting a release of 2016. And this is following some discussion on the option of virtual or augmented reality glasses for the last couple months now, or a year even. And ASUS has finally committed to the idea of producing their own pair of AR glasses. AR, of course, I'm sure many of you know, but just to catch everyone up, AR means that you put it on and it basically adds a UI or graphics or 3D implanted graphics from processing externally into the real world. So it's much different from VR, where you put it on and you can no longer see what's around you. You're completely immersed in a 3D environment. So AR is a bit different in that regard. And for that reason, AR is sometimes a little bit less associated with the sort of high-octane 3D gaming that you'll find associated with Oculus Rift or Valve's HTC Vive cooperation. But for ASUS, they have a very large home electronics market, and you can look at the Zen phone and other Zen product lines for that. And this fits into that market pretty well. ASUS, the CEO, Jerry Shen, did say that AR provides some value outside of things like just gaming. So specifically, you look at things like planning and layouts and virtualization of shopping fronts and things like that. So AR is of interest to ASUS for that reason, and that's why they're working on the glasses. It is unclear right now if this will be in cooperation at all with Microsoft's HoloLens, but the inspiration is very clear. A quick news item from the front of Epic Games and NVIDIA. NVIDIA just added its GameWorks virtual reality setup to Unreal Engine 4. So now Unreal Engine 4 will support SLI setups and multi-resolution shading, along with other VR technologies supported through GameWorks, which is NVIDIA's proprietary suite of software development enabling tools. So that is all now within Unreal Engine, which is the Epic Games engine in competition with CryEngine and Unity. In the world of mechanical keyboards, Cherry just announced its new MX Nature White switch, which has an actuation force of 55 centinewtons, so that lands it somewhere between MX Black and MX Red switches. And the MX Nature White switch is a linear switch. You can read some of our keyboard reviews and guides for what that exactly means. And this switch will be a timed exclusive for Ducky. Ducky is a keyboard manufacturer. They sometimes supply keyboards to other manufacturers. For example, NZXT produced a Ducky Shine keyboard not too long ago, but they were limited in volume, and that was effectively a rebranded Ducky keyboard. So the Nature White switch will be timed with the Shine 5, Ducky's new keyboard, coming out in the near future, and it will be exclusive to Ducky for that launch before expanding outward. This is similar to things that Corsair has done in the past, including their Corsair RGB switches using Cherry's RGB switch, and that was an exclusive to Corsair for about a year. It is now open to market, and Corsair has continued their Cherry partnership with exclusive MX Silent switches that they have exclusivity on for the next 6 months or so, and are found in the Strafe RGB MX Silent version of their keyboards. Speaking of Corsair, the company announced its new version of the HG10 video card AIO liquid cooling bracket, and this is the same as the HG10 previously, just adapted for modern video cards, including the Titan X 980 Ti, 980, and 970 GPUs. And these mount to reference board designs, reference PCB designs, and then support a effectively sort of socketed AIO. So you can use Asetek AIOs, and then there's a VRM cooler using the reference blower fan to cool the VRM and VRAM modules, with the GPU itself being cooled by liquid. So you buy the liquid AIO, the CLC, separately and mount it to the GPU using the HG10 bracket. This was introduced a little while ago, maybe a year or two ago now, when NZXT brought its G10 Kraken bracket to the market, and Cooler Master introduced its HG10 in pursuit of NZXT's launch. So this new bracket, the HG10, is branded as the N980 and N970 and so forth, and you can find those for the supported new video cards out on the market currently. So that is this week's hardware news recap. You can find more in the link in the description below. If you're curious about other hardware and game news, the game news recap went up yesterday, and that covers, spoiler alert, a lot of Fallout, a lot of Battlefront, and a lot of Black Ops 3. So that's all out there. And check the Patreon page in the post-roll video if you want to support us in our endeavors to continue pushing good content. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.